Ceci n'est pas une banane. Like the René Magritte painting, Ceci n'est pas une pipe. This work is called Comedian. It's a work that was realized by Maurizio Cattelan in 2019. This is an extraordinary work. It's a work that has generated a lot of ink. I think it's a work that has been discussed, criticized since its creation, more than maybe any other work since 2019. It's a work that people love to hate and hate to love. It's a work that if you hate contemporary art, you're going to hold your hat on Comedian and say, see, everybody can do it. Well, that would be great, actually, if everybody could do it, but not everybody does it. It's called Comedian. We mentioned earlier the relationship between comedian and commodity. Here you have actually both a comedian, it's a self-portrait of the artist, and a pure commodity. It's a banana taped on the wall. In the mid-90s, Maurizio Cattelan taped something else on the wall. He taped his art dealer, Massimo De Carlo, on the wall. You can see this image where you see Massimo De Carlo alive with duct tape taped on the wall and in suspension. Always this notion of suspension in Maurizio Cattelan's work. Comedian is a work of art that became an icon within 5 minutes. If you look at Mona Lisa, it took years, hundreds of years for Mona Lisa, La Joconde, to become an icon. This work, because of the culture we live in, because of digital culture, because of the permanent flow of information, became iconic the moment it was revealed to the public in 2019 on the walls of the Emmanuel Perrotin Gallery at the Miami Art Fair. Immediately people made fun, immediately people share their misunderstanding, their disbelief about a work of art, about an object that was actually commanding too a significant market value. The object itself has absolutely no importance in terms of materiality. The object is changed as the fruit is rotting over the days. It's a pure conceptual work of art. The project is more important than the object. The object itself is, I would say, meaningless. So when people jump to it and eat it, even if you own it, I think it's a sign of misunderstanding of what really this object stands for. What it stands for is immediacy. Immediacy of what? Immediacy of absolute communication. Again, this became an icon immediately. This is the moment when art and communication absolutely overlap. You have no more distance between a sign and the impact of the sign, between the sign and the value of the sign. We live in an era of what people call NFT, non-fungible token. Works of art that by themselves are currency. Digital work of art that exist only in the blockchains. The object of an NFT is a currency, is pure financial currency. There is no more distance, even if we know the market relationship, the financial relationship between a work of art and money. There's always a distance. With NFTs, with this object, in this era, there is no more distance. They totally overlap. They don't move away from each other. With Comedian, it's not about the financial world. It's about the world of communication. This object is absolute communication. And it has been like that since 2019. Comedian was created 6 years ago. Still, people, pun intended, cannot digest it, cannot digest why this object has created a break in our world, in our forest of signs. Of course, we can analyze it in so many ways. It's a nature morte, it's a still life. Since the 17th century, you can see a history of still life with fruit and so on and so forth. So why not? It's hung, constrained on the wall. It's a crucifixion. It's a passage of time. It's a work that signifies time. We just replaced the fruit today. So today it's fresh, tomorrow it will change. So as you come back to the exhibition, you will see different one. You will see the time passing on it. In the same way, then when you hear the drum, it signifies the time passing. It's a smile, it's a smile, twisted, but it's a smile. You can look at the history of communication and art. You can think of Andy Warhol, and I think there are a lot of connections between Andy Warhol and Maurizio Cattelan in terms of their understanding of the media world we live in. Maurizio Cattelan, like Warhol, managed magazines, created magazines, called Toilet Paper, the magazine Toilet Paper that Maurizio Cattelan has been spearheading, like Andy Warhol managed Interview magazine. Ultimately, this is a portrait of the artist that addresses the absolute immediacy, whether we like it or not, of the life, the culture, of circulation, inflation, explosion of signs that we live in. For me, this is one of the most important works of art of the beginning of the 21st century. I would even venture that this is the Mona Lisa of the 21st century. Here, as we leave the villa, in one of the main rooms of the villa, maybe one of the most, I would say, dramatic room of this exhibition, with a work from 2009, All, and a work from 2024, very recent work by Maurizio Cattelan. Both are dealing with similar topic, and I think a topic which, since the very beginning of his work, here work earlier, 2009, but has been an underlayer of Cattelan's work, which is this relationship to violence, either violence treated as in a theatrical way or in a very empathetical way, as we have here. The first work here, All, is actually, looks like an extremely classical work. 9 recumbent figures made out of Carrara marble. So doesn't get more classical than that. 9 corpses. Again, we mentioned at the beginning of this tour that this exhibition was almost saturated with corpses. 9 corpses covered with a shroud. This is the way it looks when someone just passed away. 9 corpses in different positions, facing the ground, as if, again, what we talked about earlier, this notion of gravity, like they are bound to the floor. There are also works that are, of course, crystallization of death. There are also works that bring to the conversation, as many works in this exhibition, an entire aspect of art history. If you go to Naples, to the San Severo Chapel, you would see a marvelous sculpture of the Christ, a marble sculpture covered with a shroud. And what's mesmerizing about this work is that the body is appearing through the shroud. The full marble, so the subtlety of the work that let the body appear through the solidity of the matter is mesmerizing. Here you have the same effect. You have both this notion of absolute lightness, absolute darkness, and absolute gravitas. It's also a way for the artist to channel years and years of art history. He's an Italian artist, and for an Italian artist, it's a challenge to actually embrace the legacy of Italian art. Painting, sculpture, we saw the Sixtine Chapel, we saw a reference to Mantegna, but it's also for an artist of Maurizio Cattelan's generation. Maurizio Cattelan is 65 years old right now. A way to bring into the conversation other of his predecessor. And when I look at this work, these 9 corpses, I also think of the recumbent figure that were produced by the Italian artist Luciano Fabbro, major artist from the movement Arte Povera from the 60s, 70s. And for an artist of Maurizio's generation, this relationship, connecting the dots between an entire tradition of art making that runs from early Renaissance to the present time is also extremely important, with this recurring concern of ease, which is a relationship to the body, to bodies, whether they are animal body or human body, and the relationship to death and violence. The work behind me contributes to the same conversation. As I say, it's a work from 2024. These are golden panels. You can see yourself in them. They are mirrors. They're very attractive. They're very decorative in a way. But they have been destroyed. They have been wounded by many gunshots, many different caliber of gunshot. So you can see directly in this wall the impact of violence on matter. Just imagine what it would be on your own body. Again, as it did with all, the work here brings together many works that belong to art history in conversation. I mean, icons are made out of gold surfaces. If you look at more recent history, if you look at the artist Niki de Saint-Phal, like shooting guns on painting in order to compose the painting, the Californian artist Chris Burden, who was in a performance, has to be shot in the arm. You also can think of more closer to Luciano Fabbro that I was mentioning earlier, of the artist, the Italian artist Lucio Fontana, who through his series of work Concerto Spaziale, punch open the flat surface of the canvas, either by making slashes or making puncture in the work. And some of Fontana's work were made on reflecting surfaces like copper. So you can also think of the Arte Povera artist, Michelangelo Pistoletto, and his mirror painting. So in a very simple gesture, a very simple icon, Maurizio Cattelan crystallizes many years of icon making in art history to bring to the present a reality, which is a reality of war, violence, death. It's a work that was actually premiered last year at the Larry Gagosian Gallery in New York in 2024, and you cannot not think of the day-to-day, quotidian, daily violence happening in the United States with the free access, for instance, to gun, the absolute disaster and slaughter that happen in schools with school shootings. So all this work, we're almost nearing the end of the exhibition, but you can see now these lines, whether they put a smile on your face or bring tears to your eyes. Maurizio Cattelan has these very specific concerns that run through his entire work. Power, belief system, violence, and also something which is extremely present in the work. I was talking about theatrality, the way you approach this work, the way you're reflected in the work. You see yourself, but when you locate yourself in front of this work, you see yourself punched, affected by the gunshot. But there is also this aspect of Cattelan work which is very important to me, which is the way he seduces you in order to deliver the punch. There is something about his work that, I would call, there is ornamental despair in the way the entire work has been conceived.